Have you ever had a dream so vivid you knew it was real? Or avoided danger because you listened to that voice in your head? Have you simply thought of someone and out of the blue they call you? What is deja vu? What do the origin of life, the universe, meditation have to do with one another? Can our body naturally heal from disease? Have I lived other lives before, and is it possible those lives are affecting me now? What we call good and bad, negative and positive, are really a natural synchronicity initiated by our own Creator, bringing our lives into a harmonious balance. This is the rhythm of life. Hello family, you are watching The Rhythm of Life and I am your host Sophia. I greet you in love and light. We have a wonderful guest with us today. She is an animal communicator and medium, Karen Muranko. Welcome Karen, we are so happy to have you with us today.
I'm really excited to be here too, Sophia.
Yes, thank you. And you're right here in our area in Alhambra.
That's correct.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well Karen, I've heard of people communicating with spirits, like human spirits or presence that have passed on and things like that. But animal communicating and animal medium is a little different for me. Help me understand what that is.
Okay, that's a really good question because first of all, we say none of us know how we got this particular ability. What I feel personally is that, you know, animals always kind of saved me as a child when I went through rough times, so it seems like the perfect ability to have. But everything's energy, thoughts, words. So I happen to have a USB port that connects into the doggy's head so I can hear what they're saying.
Wow. And you feel like you were born with that? How did you realize you had that ability? What brought, like, how did you know? I think of the movie, there was a movie where the little girl communicated with animals.
Okay.
How did you know you had that ability?
Well, actually, my first contact was actually with human spirits. It wasn't my choice.
Okay.
And that was a little bit scary. Not anymore, I'm used to it. But literally, I went into my vet's office and I sat down, I was waiting for my cat, and this dog put his paw on my shoulder and he said, "Hi, my name's Piper.
Wow.
I ate something that I cannot digest, and I think I need medical assistance."
And you heard this?
In my head.
Wow.
Everything's in my head, remember, in my head. Because people get confused.
Yeah.
So I said to the lady, I just feel I need to tell you this, and I told her what happened. And my vet called me later and said that's exactly what was wrong with the animal.
Wow.
And then the next thing you know, there you go. You just start to hear them.
That's amazing.
It's the best thing ever.
I can imagine, because I have a little dog and I'm always wondering, what are you talking about? You know, you try to figure out as they're trying to get your attention what they want you to do, and it takes me quite a while.
Okay.
So when you're dealing with this animal consciousness, is it the same as dealing with human consciousness? As you knew that, you know, you've done both?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't really have a difference in that?
No, there's no difference. I mean, obviously everyone reads differently. I mean, you know, there's not like a one standard way to read or to hear messages. Sometimes, you know, both humans and animals speak very clearly in words like we're speaking.
Yeah.
But if they're shy, they might show me an image or reference something that I've experienced in my physical lifetime.
Yeah.
Like, for example, a cat was talking to me.
Okay.
And he said he didn't like his name Man. He wanted something dangerous, like James Bond. And people say, well, how does a cat know who James Bond is? I said, he doesn't. I do. So when I tell the human he wants a name like James Bond, they understand the reference.
So there's some kind of translation going on in your communication.
Yeah, it's kind of like picture to verbal. Like, let's say, for example, your dog was having an issue, and I said, well, your dog says, well, I want to be like the dog on, you know, some television show. That would make sense to you, because if you knew what that dog was like, you'd say, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, okay. So you're getting you're translating a feeling that you're getting off of the animal?
What they show me. Like,
and
I literally see it.
Wow. And I've heard different psychics or channels expressing it that way as well with people. You're kind of translating from another dimension almost, so to speak.
Well, everything, it's a really a technical term, but it's called morphogenic fields. It's basically fields of energy.
Okay.
And everything vibrates on a different level.
Everything is energy.
Yeah. But for example, like humans vibrate at one level, animals at another. Birds are the highest frequency. So we have a joke in the business that says, if you talk to a bird, you'll get bird brain. Because there's energy is really high. So we're just able to tap into that energy field. That's as simple as I can make it.
Yeah, and it is physics, and you can look that up, that we are
physics.
all energy, guys.
It's quantum
we
physics.
are all energy. So with that, what kind of animals do you typically talk to? Like if we were to go on safari in Africa, would you be able, and there was a lion there, would you be able to connect with that consciousness, or do you kind of stick to domesticated animals?
I've actually wanted to reach some big cats, and I have reached out to that. Here's the thing, normally I have to have a connection, meaning the human and I have to connect. That kind of gives, I call it like animal email. That kind of gives the animal permission to speak.
Okay.
But just like the case of the dog in the vet, where no one gave him permission and he just talked to me, so it's different in different circumstances.
Okay.
But some animals, like they just, even if I don't know, they know I hear and they just start talking.
Wow. So they kind of tune into you.
Yeah.
So in some senses, they might be on kind of a higher frequency than us.
They're on a much higher frequency, and statistics do support that 40 to 60% of animals are intuitive.
Wow.
Like, for example,
I believe that. Yeah.
They know when you're coming home. Are you waiting at the door?
My dog is really attached to my daughter, and she is at the door. My daughter doesn't come through it for 10 more minutes, 15. I mean, she has to be way down the street. So I totally believe that.
They've done studies on it. It is true.
Yeah. So share with us, you have a little bit, but share with us a little bit more, maybe an amazing story where you've had to intervene with one of your clients and their pet.
Are you talking about in body or in spirit, or it doesn't matter?
Whatever. Like what has happened to where maybe someone's had you come and maybe they've had an issue with their pet and you've come and had to intervene.
Okay. I have a good one, and since it's on my website, because just like a doctor, I have to be confidential. So since this is on my website, this lady was referred to me by one of my clients, and one of her dogs had died.
Okay.
So then she adopted one to keep the other one company, and they're barking. She works a lot, and the barking was so bad that her neighbors were threatening to have the dogs removed. And she hired a conventional behaviorist, and I'm not opposed to that, but you can't modify barking behavior if you're not home. So before I went to the house, because I can get pre-messages, I kept hearing the dog Joey saying, "I'm digging my dog, I'm digging my dog." So I asked her, "Where are the cremains?" And they were in the bedroom drawer. And that's where Joey kept digging, because he could feel the energy.
Right.
So we had to respectfully move Nick. We had to resolve some of the issues with Lily, because her babies were taken away too early. And she was putting like stuffed animals around her.
So sometimes our pets give birth, we have to really, some people are kind of insensitive
They don't understand
to when
that
they separate.
Yeah. So once we discussed with Lily that sleeping with stuffed toys is okay, because grown-ups do it too, adults, and I explained to Joey, the dog in life, that you don't have to be the big brother. You just need to be a dog. Within 2 days, no barking.
Wow.
Brief, problem solved.
Well, that's amazing. We do have a short break.
Sure.
We're going to take this station break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us on The Rhythm of Life. I'm your host, Sophia, and I'm here with Karen, who is a wonderful animal communicator.
And
Karen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we were talking about your communication with animals, and for our viewers that are watching, and perhaps if they have a pet that, you know, might be unruly or unhappy or something, how would you suggest they go about finding someone like you, or how do they choose someone like you? A lot of times there's a lot of fraud with these kinds of things.
In this business especially.
Yeah, so how does a person know who's a great medium to choose to communicate with their pets?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that question because I got an email from someone on Friday who was a referral, and she wanted to come in right away, and I won't mention other names, but her cat was missing for 8 weeks, a tripod, which means three-legged cat. And this person was going to charge her $3 up front, and I said, well, you know, I don't charge to look for a missing pet. I ask, if you feel I help you find your pet, you're welcome for a donation.
Okay.
But there's a lot of people out there. It's not just animal communications. I don't want to just slam.
Right. It's not. Yeah, you're right.
But unfortunately, I have a mentor. She was my communicator, and she's now my mentor. And she works with the utmost of integrity. So that's kind of how I was raised, if you will. This person wanted to prepay me. I said, well, I'm not going to take your money if I can't provide a service.
Okay, so you would say prepaying and discussing that kind of thing too soon is probably a sign that that may not be a person you want to go with.
Yeah, because here's my thought in life. Regardless of what a person does, I mean, yes, we all get paid for what we do.
Yeah.
But what is your complete motivation? Is it for the money, or is it for the service you're providing?
And maybe listening to our own instincts.
Intuition.
Sometimes we ignore our own intuition when it's telling us, no, no, no,
Yeah,
no, no,
like
no.
we talked about
and
that,
then we go, oh, well, maybe I'll try, and then we lose. Okay.
Yeah, because see, first of all, just a little brain lesson is that's the conscious brain, that's your stopper ball. You got to listen to the subconscious brain.
Yeah.
And don't let her, in our case, females, don't let her talk you out of that.
So tell us a little bit how you separate that, the subconscious mind and the higher mind.
Well, once I start channeling, it's really easy because it's all in the subconscious brain. Plus, and like I say, I don't know who my guides are. I don't know who sends me my messages. I just know that, like when I read, I say thank you a lot. When I say thank you, I'm getting an image from somebody because people are like, why are you saying thank you? I just saw an image of this or that.
Wow.
Speaking for me personally, I think it's because people know I absolutely love animals. I love all animals. So when I go in, like when I went on Saturday, all the dogs ran in the bathroom with me. And she said, they don't follow anybody. I'm like, well, they want to make sure.
Now, can you hear
What's
them?
next?
Can you hear them? Did any of them try to communicate anything to you?
You know, there was 3 dogs and 4 cats. That's like being in a crowded restaurant. But I was getting images. But what my impression was that once we start telling the human what the animal's problem is, they feel a sense of relief. So I thought they went, well, you're not done yet, are you, Karen? But they literally, and they all pile in the bathroom with her, just sitting there going,
yeah, they're like, help us.
What's next?
Help
What's next?
us. Wow. Well, we're showing a short station break.
Sure.
From our sponsor. We'll be right back. This episode of The Rhythm of Life has been brought to you in part by Buca di Beppo, serving delicious Italian cuisine in Old Town, Pasadena. And also by the Motel Music Media, delivering quality music to radio, television, and film for over 25 years.
She really put me down. She tried to get me. She tried to stick me for my paper. She turned out to be a flaker. She hurt my heart, I really hate her. Now I gotta erase her. Scratch her name right off the list and try to act like she didn't exist. I feel like brand new paper, 'cause I just gotta keep it real with you. I like how you be looking when you be kicking it. You're always bumping. Every time I see you, don't know what to do. Can't get enough of you, baby. You're the truth. Yeah, you don't have to go away. Girl, I changed my evil ways. Anything I gotta say to make you stay, to make you stay, to make you stay. Again, again. Every time I say that I'm sorry, nothing changes. So I guess I need another word. Girl, I need another word. So many times I know that I hurt you. I can't apologize. Sorry won't do. 'Cause I need another word. Girl, I need another word. Together we can do whatever. We can light the sky. We can shine so bright. We can be the sun. Give everything life. We could. We can stop these hearts from breaking in two. We can make this work if we really wanted to. We could. Ain't nothing stop me. It's like a storm when you come around. Can't keep my feet on the ground. It's like I've been swept away, swept away, swept away. This kind of love, man, it can't be found. I'm so high, I can't look down. It's like I've been swept away, swept away, swept away. I don't know why every time that you cry, when I wanna leave, it just be getting me. I don't know why every time that you cry, you're killing me. What you doing, babe? Stop with the mind games. I think I'm ready for a change. Oh, here we go. Why you make it rain on me? I don't know why every time that you cry. Stop what you're doing, what you're doing.
We can do
Welcome
that.
back, family. You're watching The Rhythm of Life. I'm here with Karen, our animal communicator and medium. Karen, share a little bit more for our audience, like if they have an animal that's just a dog that's barking or a bird that is just like out of control, a lost animal. Share with us what you would do about any of those situations.
Those are two separate, but
Okay.
the same thing, like this house I went to on Saturday, and the dogs are so cute. Like they had like doggy hair color, so you had like colored mohawks. And the smallest one, her name's Darla, she ran the house. So it's a technique, I can't stand up to show it to you, but it's called body blocking. So I come back in and Darla's barking, and you turn your back to the animal, and you just stare in the sky, and you just keep showing them your back because animals hate to be ignored.
Okay.
And she stopped barking immediately, and the human said, she stopped barking. I said, she's never seen the back. She rules the roost. And
Wow.
Darla's eyes are like, ooh, I don't like that. And so,
So we're spoiling them in a sense
yeah. And
sometimes,
you
like
think
little babies.
Yeah, and then you think by, like for example, if a dog's barking and you start yelling, that's doggy barking. So he's going, roar, 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 and you're,
Right.
roar. So that's why you turn your back, eyes up, ignore them, because they're like, oh, now they don't want to talk to me anymore. Eventually they get tired of seeing the back, and they learn if I don't stop barking or doing whatever, I'm not going to get the attention.
Now,
It's called
Karen,
body blocking.
I've heard that our animals will kind of take on our insecurities,
They can.
our characteristics, and kind of be like us. And in my house, we're kind of loud. Like you see, my voice carries.
Yeah, your dog-
Always been that way.
So your dog wants doggy earmuffs sometimes.
But my dog like sort of goes off when my husband comes in. And we think that maybe because we're loud that she thinks that that's acceptable, but
Yeah,
if
it
that's
is.
kind of not appropriate for us, how do we handle that?
Well, that's what I'm saying, you body block. First of all, I'm channeling a little bit here. I don't think you really want to change your dog's personality too much
Okay.
because he or she really enjoys, because see, what they're saying is, he's singing. I come from a singing family.
Okay.
So I have to use my voice.
And that's funny that you say that because everybody sings, except for me.
Yeah.
They all sing.
And he says, like, if I were a person in a previous life, I would be Elvis Presley. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's what.
So that could be why she's a little high strung.
So everybody in the house does it.
Yeah, yeah.
But with company, if it, like, let's say, if company's coming in, that's when you do want to do the body blocking.
Now, when company comes, she's quiet.
Oh, that's okay. Then it's just because you're a singing family. That's all.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to take a short break and look at this second clip of how our animals communicate with us.
Sounds good.
So tell us a little bit, if someone were looking for some communication or some mediation between them and their pet, how could your service benefit them? Like, what have you seen, some after stories?
Okay.
How can they benefit from
I
this?
have to be perfectly honest with you. I get the most incredible testimonials, like the dogs.
And we can find those on your
They're
website,
on my
I'm
website,
sure.
yeah.
And we'll show the website.
There's Lisa, the dogs, Joey and Lily. I mean, you know, first of all, here's this person grieving a lost pet that just happened 2 months ago. And they're bringing in Lily thinking Lily's going to keep Joey company. But basically they were doing the equivalent of doggy, complaining. Bark, bark, bark. I miss Nick. Bark, bark, bark. I miss my baby. So that's how they're communicating.
Wow.
And then thinking that my neighbor's going to take my dogs away, my babies. And so I get this email saying, "Oh my God! I mean, you have no idea how much calmer and more peaceful I feel." So, kind of in a nutshell, whether I'm talking to a human or animal in body or in spirit, I want the people, the humans and the animals, to feel lighter when I walk out than when I went in.
Yeah.
You know, you walk in and they're tense or they're crying. I want them to feel lighter and feel hopeful.
Yeah.
That they can heal. I want to heal the family, the relationship with humans and their pets.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And this to me is a gift from God to you.
It's a gift
like
from God.
A lot of times people that follow certain paths of religion, you know, they'll tell us that this is an evil power or something like that.
Oh yes, I've been called a voodoo
princess. And in my
experience,
I've experienced the most loving communication with Source, with helping people. Yeah. And I see God in it all over the place. And it's just a wonderful thing that you do. You have your own show that you're putting together now.
Yes, I'm in pre-production right now.
Called Animals Speak to Me.
Yeah,
and your website is animalspeaktome.com. Okay, so tell us a little bit about what we can expect to see in that show.
Well, you kind of made a good point about that because I think sometimes people have a misconception about readers or people with abilities.
Yeah.
I've been called really crazy things, but here's kind of an analogy in real life. I watched some television shows about, I think it's called Young Stars or something. When you see a 3-year-old who plays a piano or sings.
Amazing things.
Where does that come from? That comes from God.
Right, it's a gift.
So my ability comes from God.
It does.
And honestly, I used to be ashamed about it. I didn't tell a lot of people because oddly enough, I'm also a mental health behaviorist. But it comes in handy with the profession. But I had an injury about 3 years ago, I think I shared with you.
Yeah.
And I survived it.
Awesome.
And so I made a point that for as many years as God chooses to give me, I have to use this gift.
Right.
And so
in honor and service to it. to that
I honor
energy.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
So share with us real quickly what you're going to do on your show. Will it be in homes? Will it be in studio?
I really do. I really want to do on location shoots, and like you say, and that's really what I want to do is I kind of want to demystify communication for people who are not into this stuff.
Okay.
So it's sort of like, animal communication 101.
Good.
I don't want it to be like television drama and all. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I want it simple. I want it organic, and first they tell me I'm quite hysterical on a channel. So I want it to be fun and educational as well, because here's a stat. I specialize in behavior modification. 40 to 60% of animals are surrendered for behavior.
Wow.
If the owner would just take some time to be patient. The animal is like a child that's having some trouble.
Same as with children.
So I also want to educate.
Okay, good. Well, we look forward to that showing soon. As always, I thank you for being with us today. I thank you, Karen, for sharing your time and energy with us today. You can find Karen at her website at animalspeaktome.com. You can find me on Instagram, iSophiaM. And I want to thank Pasadena Media. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, family, for sharing this time with us. And I leave you in the grace and peace of all that is.